What's good, YouTube and Finns Nation? And what an absolute clunker the second game of the season was for us as Dolphins fans against the Jets. Just an absolutely terrible game to watch. Not many positives. There were some sprinkled in there, but not much to pull from this game. I really don't know what happened. I really thought we were going to go up there and dominate the Jets, but that's exactly what they did to us on both sides of the ball. And yeah, we just really couldn't get anything going. And it was just an absolutely terrible performance, and hoping to bounce back next week. And it's not going to be easy flying all the way to London and playing the Saints, and it's always a dynamic offense with Drew Brees behind the center. But hoping we can bounce back next week. But I don't know. There was this was just one of those like old Jets games where, like in the Philbin era, where we'd go in being the favorite and thinking that we were going to blow them out, and exactly the opposite happens to us. Um, it was just absolutely terrible, being dominated on both sides of the ball. Um, got some things to go over from the game. So yeah, not many positives like last week. I mean, our first game of the season, we really played well on both sides of the ball. Like our linebackers didn't really play well, but we had a really good run defense and last week, and did a good job of just winning the game. But this week had a terrible game against Josh McCown, and just really not outstanding talent besides on defense. But yeah, just terrible performance. All right, so let's get to the game. So starting with our absolutely horrendous offensive performance, really couldn't get anything going this game through the air and on the ground. Jay Cutler was just a much different quarterback than last week. Last week he had a clean pocket and had time to make the throws that he needed to, and he had a nice completion percentage. Today's game he was just terrible. 26 for 44, 5 yards average per pass, one touchdown and interception, and just a terrible rating of 70. And not much was happening on the ground either. J.J. had 11 carries for 16 yards and 1.5 yards per rush, and that definitely wasn't Ajayi's fault. The offensive line just did a terrible job of containing pressure. Ajayi was constantly getting tackled in the backfield before he even got a chance to cross the line of scrimmage, and that obviously falls on the offensive line, so you can't blame Ajayi for that. And he took a shot to the midsection at the in the first quarter, so that definitely wouldn't have helped his performance. That would have just rattled him physically and mentally. So yeah, the offensive line performance was just absolutely poor. Larry Mutansil giving up 4 hurries and just all across the line, just not doing well in the run game. Open up running lanes and containing pressure at the snap. The only positive on the offensive line was Jawan James. He's playing great for us through 2 games. He's being graded as one of the best tackles in the league so far. And also, we didn't get much else on the ground. Damian Williams, 2 carries for 5 yards, 2.5 per rush. And Kenyon Drake had 1 attempt for 0 yards. Our best rush of the day coming in the fourth quarter. Just it was a last-ditch attempt by Jay Cutler. He had... and it was a lucky run too, because the defensive man, I can't remember his name, the Jets player who was defending him, thought he threw the ball and he got a lucky run for 9 yards. So if he had been tackled, we would have had absolutely nothing happening on the ground. So yeah, moving on to some other stats. Our third down efficiency was just horrendous. 1 of 13. And fourth down efficiency was even worse, 0 of 13. And it shows just how bad we played, because the Jets only completed 4 of 13 of first down completions, and we still couldn't get the job done. And our yards per pass was only 4.1, which is just absolutely terrible. You want to get it at least between 5 and 10, and 4.1 just won't cut it. And the Jets, had a nice completion percentage there with 9.3 yards per attempt. And also on the ground, we had 0 rushing first downs, which is always a recipe for disaster. You never want that. Last week Ajayi had countless runs for first downs, and that just did not happen all game. Can't say much about the receiving core compared to last week. It was a very uneven game. Most of the production from the top three guys came in the second half when the game really didn't matter at all. Devontae Parker, he made many catches in the fourth quarter, which made it look like he had a good day, but he definitely didn't. Looking at the stat sheet, it looks like our receivers had a good day, but that wasn't the case in the first half. Most of the catches and yards came in the second half. Jarvis Landry just had a very uneven game compared to last week. Last week he had countless catches and runs for first downs, and just that wasn't the case this week. Countless times he was catching the ball and getting tackled straight away, and he just had no chance to make anything happen after the catch. And that's obviously the Jets' smothering defense just getting the job done. But the top three guys didn't really do much of anything in the first half to get the ball moving. And that's obviously because of the pressure that the Jets were giving us up front. We had no chance to get anything going in the long game and through the middle. Julius Thomas didn't really have a good game. He had 3 catches for 16 yards, 5.3 yards per catch. The one nice thing to see was Jakeem Grant lining up on the outside and getting 1 catch for 12 yards. That was beautiful to see, and it just looked great. It looked really natural, and I want to see Jakeem Grant get more chances. I reckon they should have injected Carew and Grant much more earlier in the game just to get some new energy in there and see if we can get something going. But obviously Gase just loves sticking with the big three of Parker, Stills, and Landry. But I think he should have injected some new talent in there earlier. Might have got something more going on offense, and Damian Williams should have got more of a chance too. He's a great pass catching halfback, and he really didn't have any impact in this game. Not much more I can say about the offense. It was just absolutely terrible game to watch. Couldn't get anything going, obviously, and just the Jets just did an absolutely much better job than the Chargers did of pressuring us. You would have thought the Chargers would have got much more pressure with Bosa and Ingram, but obviously Todd Bowles being a defensive specialist, they had much better blitz packages and just better blitzing concepts, and just did a much better job of getting past our line and to Cutler. Hoping we can really fix it against the Saints, because if we don't, it could be another blowout, because the Saints have a much better offense. Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer, and it's still a highly productive quarterback. So hoping we fix the problems we had this week and move forward. Adam Gase just point blank said that we just got the absolute shit beaten out of us. So hoping next week that isn't the case, and we just come out with more physicality and just play more fundamentally sound football, and and just punch the Saints straight in the mouth. Coach Gase has insinuated this week that if the guys don't start doing a better job, he's going to start making some lineup changes. So if that's not a wake up call for these guys, I don't know what is. We're just guys on the offensive line just really got to do a better job. Mike Pouncey played good in our first game, but he really didn't have a good game against the Jets, and same with Tunsil. So those two guys have really got to step up, and that would definitely lift the whole offense as a whole. So alright, so moving on to the defense. The defense this week had some positives and some major negatives. So starting with the positives, our front seven had a really good game, coming out on fire. Cam Wake getting a sack first play of the game, getting a sack and getting the pressure. But after that, not much more was happening. Andre Branch did have a sack, but that was our only 2 sacks of the game. We did another great job against the run this week, only allowing 3 yards per rush, and it's really nice to see our run defense has really picked up from last year. We're currently 5th in the league with stopping the run and yards allowed. So our front seven did a nice job. Our linebackers played well too. Kiko Alonso had 8 tackles. Chase Allen had 7 tackles, and Mike Hull had 7 tackles. Mike Hull definitely had a better game compared to last week. He did a better job in coverage, and He did give away a couple big passes, but not as bad as last week. So that was nice to see. So our front seven as a whole, played really well. What major negative on the front was our penalties. Davin Gotcho just got two false starts in a row. That was just absolutely terrible, just stopping the momentum we had at the start of the game, and it probably did affect our defense. But the front seven definitely did a good job. And so moving on to the secondary, they didn't hold up their end of the bargain and really just lost the game for us. If the secondary matched the play of the front seven, we definitely would have won this game and stopped the Jets from gaining as many yards as they did. Xavier Howard definitely improved from last week, but still was a bit sloppy, giving up a couple passes here and there, but he was much better in coverage and was playing physical. Byron Maxwell, I don't know what's going on with this guy, but he's just giving up pass after catch after catch. I don't know what it is. It might be the scheme or the concepts or because he's playing off more, but he's just got to play man-to-man coverage. That's what his strength is, but I don't know. We might just be seeing his weaknesses now because he looked like an absolute stud in Seattle because he was just surrounded by all pros and pro bowlers in that Seattle defense. So I don't know. He might be getting exposed. He is 29 now, so he might have lost a step or two. But hoping he can regain the confidence and the level of play he had in the second half of the season. He was just a real liability in coverage and just didn't play well at all. Just absolutely terrible game from Byron Maxwell. I know a lot of Dolphins fans are just so angry at him at the moment, and I am too. He just doesn't look like the $9 million player out there. Like, he's not playing up to his contract, so I don't know what's going to... We might have to bench him again to lift his level of play. Rashad Jones had a really nice game today. He had 8 tackles, 7 solo tackles, and 1 tackle for loss. Rashad Jones played really nice. He was good against the run. He was good with help over the top, and just the play of the corners was really making Rashad look bad, and just dim the light of the great game that he did have. So that's it for the secondary. And Nate Allen really had an uneven game. Didn't really play well. I'm really just counting down to when TJ McDonald comes back. He's really going to lift the play of the secondary. He's a much better safety than Nate Allen. He's a much better talent and a much better playmaker. So definitely going to lift the play of the secondary when TJ McDonald comes back. But I don't know. The secondary was just terrible, just giving up pass after pass in zone coverage, and hoping we can fix this next week. Otherwise, the Saints will probably put up 30 or 40 points. So those guys in the secondary just have to lift their game. Otherwise, it's going to be a long season for us. Ultron Werner had an absolutely horrendous first appearance for us this season. Just giving up that long touchdown pass when he was covering Robbie Anderson. Just showed that he doesn't have great speed to cover over the top. He might be a better slot corner, but Ultron Werner in his 11 snaps just really didn't impress. Came on the field and just gave up a touchdown straight away. So obviously, I think we are missing Tony Libbett a bit. Tony Lippett played great for us last year, and he was a good corner. So I think we might be missing Tony Lippett a bit, but hoping these guys can lift their game. I really want to see what Cordrea Tankersley can do. He's been inactive the last 2 games. I don't know why he's not playing on special teams. They're saying that he isn't doing a good job on special teams, like learning the concepts, and he probably isn't doing a good job of getting the defense down and getting the playbook and concepts down. So I just want to see what he can do. He's a good young athlete who I think can really cover well, but obviously the Finns don't think he's ready. But I'm hoping that they activate him soon. I just want to see what he's made of. He looked like one of the best corners coming out of the draft. So just want to see the Finns give him a chance and just help out those guys out there, because I really think we are missing Tony Lippett this season. Can't really say much about the special teams either. Jakeem Grant wasn't spectacular on punt returns. He had 2 for 6.5 yard average. He did have a long one of 13 yards, but not much production there. And his kick returns, he only returned one for 15 yards. I really think we need to give more guys, different guys, chances in there. Jakeem, is the fastest guy on the team, but just doesn't have the talent to weave through traffic and get past the 20 and 30 yard line. He just doesn't do it consistently. I really want to see them put Jarvis back in at punt returns. I know that he will be in danger of getting injured, but he showed his first year that he's a great punt returner. I want to see him get more of a chance, and I just want to see Kenyon Drake get more kick returns. Cody Parkey didn't attempt any field goals, which shows just how bad we were on offense. Didn't have many chances to kick field goals, and he missed the one extra point he got at the end of the game. I think that was just due to the the negative energy that was on the bench, and we just had no momentum going, and then that showed on that last kick. Matt Hack had a decent day, even though he had 7 punts, which is never a good thing, but they're 47 yard average punts, and he had one inside 20, so he had a pretty good day, and he had one longest punt of the day was 64 yards, so not much happening on special teams either, so can't really take anything from that. They didn't really help us to win the game like was the case in week 1. So just want to move forward from our second game of the season. Just absolutely terrible. Really thought we're going to go up to the Meadowlands and get the job done and beat the Jets and go up 2-0 and keep that momentum going like we had from the second week. But like we had from our first game of the season. But just terribly uneven performance. I really think the emotion at the start of the game, the players are protesting Trump's statements and linking arms and showing unity. It was really beautiful to see, but I think it just took away from our focus on the game. You could see it at the start of the game, especially on offense. The guys just weren't focused and weren't getting the job done. So hopefully, flying to London isn't going to help, but hopefully they get acclimated to the time zone quickly and get back in that mind zone, that mind state of just going out there and dominating. So I don't know. After this game, I'm really not confident going up against the Saints, but hopefully we can turn things around and be more solid and just have consistent effort against the Saints. Hoping to see Stephon Anthony get some action against his old team. Just want to see what he's made of and see if he can help the defense or on special teams. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Got to put this one away. We've got to move on to the next game. This is just a terrible performance. It happens from time to time. Even the best teams can have a clunker. So just got to move forward and on to the next week. Alrighty, this has been the Finns Fanatics, and I'll see you next time, folks.